Jai Hind children. Today we'll be dealing with module 2 of the chapter Judiciary. In the previous chapter we had talked about uh, what is the role of judiciary, what are its functions, or what does the judiciary do basically. And we had also talked that why do we need an independent judiciary. In this module we'll be studying what is the structure of courts in India. So let us begin. As you can see in the picture, first is the Supreme Court, then the High Court, then District or the Session Court, and then there are small causes courts. Let us do that in detail. Okay. So the structures. There are different levels of courts in India, and there are several courts at the lower level, while there is only one at the apex, that is the Supreme Court. The courts that most people interact with are what are called as the subordinate courts or the district courts. Now, these are usually at the district or the tehsil level or in the towns, and they hear many kinds of cases. Each state in India is divided into districts that we already know, and that is presided over by a district judge. Each state has a high court. First we have district court, then we have high court, which is the highest court of that state. At the top is the Supreme Court that is located in New Delhi, and it is presided by the Honorable Chief Justice of India. The decisions of the Supreme Court are binding on all the lower courts, that is the High Court and the district courts. So whatever decisions will be taken in the Supreme Court, that nobody can go beyond that. So this is the main structure: Supreme Court, High Court, and the District Court. I had also shared about some small courts. Few places have that. And dealing with the next topic, in India we have an integrated judicial system, meaning that the decisions made by the higher courts, they are binding on the lower courts. So if a high court takes a decision, that will be binding, and the lower court decision will not be taken care of. Another way is through the appellate system that exists in India, that I will be telling you. This means that a person can appeal to a higher court if he believes that the judgment passed by the lower court is not just. For example, I have gone to the lower court for a case and I feel that the court has not done justice. So I can move to the next court, that is the high court. That is called as the appellate system. Different branches of the legal system are, there are two main branches, that is criminal law and civil law. We understand what is criminal law, things which are related with criminal matters, and the rest comes under the civil law. So what are the criminal cases or criminal law? The criminal law deals with the conducts or act that the law defines as offence. For example, theft, harassing a woman to bring more dowry, murder, etc. It usually begins with the lodging of an FIR, that is the first information report with the police, who investigate the crime, after which a case is filed in the court. And if the person is found guilty, the accused can be sent to jail, or he can also be given a monetary punishment or fine. And civil law means it deals with any harm or injury to the rights of an individual. As we already know that we are also being called as civilized citizens. So that from that only it comes civil law. For example, disputes relating to the sale of land, purchase of goods, rent, etc. Divorce also comes in that. A petition has to be filed before the relevant court by the affected party, and in a rent matter either the landlord or to the tenant can file a case. The court gives the specific relief asked for. For instance, in case between a landlord and a tenant, the court can order the flat to be vacated and the pending whatever money is or rent is to be paid off. This is just an example. Does everyone have access to the court? Yes, everyone has access to the court. All the citizens of India have access. This implies that every citizen has a right to justice through the courts. The court also plays a very significant role in protecting our fundamental rights. If any citizen believes that their rights are being violated, they can approach to the court and justice will be done. While the courts are available for all, in reality, access to courts have always been difficult for a large majority of people. Why? Because they are poor, and these courts, the lawyers demand a huge amount of money. Now, legal procedures also involve a lot of money and paperwork, as well as they take a lot of time. So, one drawback is that uh, anything or justice to prevail, it takes a lot of years. If you remember the case of Nirbhaya also, it took a number of years that justice prevailed and those people were hanged. For a poor person who cannot read and whose family depends on the daily wage, the idea of going to the court is remotely not possible, and so he thinks that better to sit back at home and not go for justice, thinking about the money matters. Now, the next topic which we'll be dealing is uh, public litigation, a public interest litigation. Now, what is this? In response to the situation in India, the Supreme Court in the early 1980s, they devised a mechanism of public interest litigation, or PIL, to increase access to justice. Now, we will understand what it is. This allowed an individual or an organization to file a PIL, that is public interest litigation, in the High Court or the Supreme Court on behalf of those whose rights have been violated. So, if a person feels that his rights have been violated, he can file an PIL in the High Court or the Supreme Court. The legal process was greatly simplified, and even a letter or a telegram which was addressed to the Supreme Court or the High Court could be treated as a PIL. So, we did not need a very long written application. So, simple telegram will also do that. So this is the second module. We'll be dealing with the doubts in the live class, and the next topic will be dealt in module number 3. Thank you and Jai Hind.